wanted coaching?
Sure.
Or I feel like I I picked up the game quite. I'm a new player. I've watched the game before. One of my classmates, when like 5 years ago or 4, was a professional player. So I watched some games.
Nice. Who is your classmate, if you don't mind me asking?
Skyle. I don't know
Nice.
if he
Yep.
still
Yep.
goes by
No.
that name.
Yep. I know Scout.
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of watched the game a bit, but I never really played it much or like tried it too much. I picked it up and played like a couple of games with friends. But I started now in October last year. My best friend wanted to start playing a game, so we picked it up. And yeah, I think I did very good at the beginning. I started improving fast, like very fast. The first ranked I placed was Diamond, and it kind of was very hard in the beginning, but I kind of adapted fast, and I climbed a bit, but now I feel like kind of stuck. I think I improved very fast at the beginning, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to do at this point.
Okay. 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 Sounds good. Now, I'm seeing here and looking at your form. You play a little bit of everything. You got
Yeah.
DPS, you got support, you got tank. Okay. Now, your pool is interesting because you have like dive tanks, dive DPS, and then your support lineup is Zenyatta, Moira. So just quickly in a couple of sentences, go down Zen, Moira, Tracer, Pharah, Diva, Winston. Obviously, if that's changed, let me know. Why those characters?
Because the characters I recognize, and from as I said, I like watched the game a lot in the beginning, and dive was the meta, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was those characters that I knew how to play when I started picking up. So that's why I'm playing. I think my tank is my weakest role because I basically can only play like Diva Winston like decently.
Okay.
I haven't even like touched Orisa or some of the tanks.
That's funny. I mean, you are playing two of the more challenging tanks, which is kind of ironic considering what you said. But yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Okay. And then you are looking to goal wise here. I want to hit top 500 for bragging rights. I just genuinely want to feel better at first person shooter games because I haven't played or been good at them in the past. Now, why is that a goal for you? You said because I haven't been good in the past, but I'm also not particularly good at juggling or stilts, but I don't care, about those skills.
Yeah.
So what is it about first person shooters that makes you want to be better at them?
Because it's I've always played some games, but it has always been the strategic games, and I was always like everybody knew me as the good player in my like class and friend group and everything, whatever. So I started when I now started picking up FPS. I was not the best player anymore, so I kind of wanted to climb up a bit and take my role as the good player. And also, as I said, I'm not very good at FPS, but I'm very good at other games. So I kind of want to fix that slot so I'm a bit more all around, and I just kind of want to be good at everything.
Makes sense.
Maybe a bad habit, but
makes sense. No, I understand that. I understand that. And you're putting in around 35 hours every 2 weeks. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, how is that broken down day to day on average?
I play like I work as a train driver, so my schedule is always changing a lot. But I do have a lot of free days. I have like 3 days every week where I'm free from work, and I play a lot those days. But the days I work, I play at most maybe 2 hours.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And how is that time spent? Is it mostly competitive or is it other things as well?
Yeah, I'm just loading in and go competitive.
Okay. Do you warm up at all?
I don't warm up. No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Let's keep going here. So you don't warm up, you jump in, and then obviously, what is your role breakdown in terms of like tank, DPS, support, and so on? How much of each role do you play? How much of each hero do you play?
I did when I picked up the game. I played mainly DPS, but as I started playing ranked instead of quick play, I mainly lean towards support because I just feel like it's I don't know. I feel it's easier. It feels better for me. I feel more comfortable playing the role. I can, DPS is very stressful sometimes, and tank I just get counterpicked because of my diva and Winston picks. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of end up playing a lot of support, which is mainly Zenyatta.
Okay.
And I basically go Moira if it doesn't really work out or something else.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Okay. I guess for you, it's just maybe not something that we're going to really look at today, but like long term, you kind of have to decide about whether you are going to put the time into solving tank to where you can play the characters that you actually enjoy, or if you're just going to go the path of least resistance. I don't think going the path of least resistance is necessarily a problem by just playing support and going Moira, but if you don't see yourself long term enjoying playing Moira or support, and you miss playing Winston and you miss playing Farah or whatever, you're going to need to solve your problems with those characters. So just a caution.
I don't mind the tank. I don't find like that role so interesting. I find support and DPS the more fun roles to play.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, what are we going to be looking at today in terms of gameplay? What hero or what roles?
Mainly Zenyatta and supports. I thought just picking the most recent game I played, maybe.
Sure.
I don't know if it's good fitting.
Sure, makes sense. Let me keep going through your form here. So, biggest tips I can have for you is I know like your job. I'm looking even at your sleep schedule and talking about like how consistency of play can be a little bit troubling, a little bit difficult, right?
Yeah.
But I can tell you that that's going to be a really important thing for you to have consistent improvement. Is as close as you possibly can, is to be as close to consistent as you can with your playtime in terms of playing about the same amount, about the same number of days, about the same number of weeks, kind of an approach. Now, obviously, that's not perfectly possible, but having something closer to consistency will help you. I would also recommend warming up as well for consistency as well.
What would you recommend for like
warming up? I would recommend doing good old-fashioned Vaxta code. You familiar with Vaxta?
No, I'm not.
Go into settings here. Import code, VAXTA. Okay. And then I'll type it in your channel really quick as well. And then you're going to go Zen, or whatever character that you need to warm up with. You're going to take a target. You're going to discord the target. And you're going to do this. And nice. Because this is so boring, I recommend doing it for 5 minutes. Tops. You notice I'm not even firing at like the exact same rate of fire, right? You notice I'm kind of slowing down?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Coach mechanics. You get what I'm saying? I'm slowing things down. And you can even go up here, you press your interact key, and they go crazy hard. All sorts of strafing.
All right, yeah.
And so you're going to do this for 5 minutes. Look at the top left there, you see the orange timer?
Yeah.
Do that for 3 or 4 minutes even. Doesn't even have to be 5. And then you're warmed up.
Yeah. Okay. Every time I start, I just do that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You need to get the repetition of I'm doing this over and 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 over again. So when you get into the game, you're not worried about your mechanics. You know that your mechanics are good to go. And it's going to be so much more efficient. It's so much faster. It's a little bit boring. But that's why we do it for 3 or 4 minutes. That's it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? On the forum, you say, as a relatively new player, I feel like I've improved fast, but I've recently hit a roadblock. There are games where I just feel stuck and don't really know what to do with and or improve. Therefore, I'd say I'm struggling with understanding certain situations and how to handle them. Now, you said we're looking at Zenyatta today, correct?
Yeah.
What Zenyatta situations make you feel stuck?
There are some times when I just kind of position it. It's just like difficult to do something in the game. You like things happening around you. Enemy takes high ground. Your team is splitting up, and I just feel like lost, and I don't really know where I'm supposed to be in those scenarios, or if I should swap character. Maybe if it doesn't work, it's working out. Maybe like swapping something else might be better. Like I don't really know what I'm supposed to do in those scenarios.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Difficult situations for Zenyatta. Don't know where to position. Don't know if I should be swapping. Okay. Do you have one of those codes that we can look at today?
I think I do. Yeah.
Okay. I don't really have
Here.
any other questions from your form. The only other obvious red flag or yellow flag, we'll say, is your sleep schedule. But obviously,
Yeah.
with your work, as you said, that is a very difficult thing. So,
Yeah.
obviously,
I'm trying to,
okay.
kind of work it out a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be better. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Do you have any other questions for me?
No.
Okay. So, big thing is let's try and make sure that you're trying to play with some sort of consistency, trying to get your 3 to 4 minute warm up. And one other thing, just before we finish, is I always like to recommend taking short breaks while you're in queue between games. So, getting up, walking around from your PC, 30, 45 seconds, that's fine. Anything just to get up and move around. Highly recommend it.
Okay.
Helps with detilt, keeps your focus, reminds you of what you need to do. A lot of people like to min max by VOD reviewing or like aim training while in queue. I think that's probably better than going on YouTube for sure, but it's not the best thing that you could do. Okay, so Zenyatta here.
Defend objective A.
Okay, any questions about Zenyatta? General questions.
As a character,
Sure.
no.
Okay.
I think I have a good. I know I misplay him a bit.
Yeah.
But I think I have a basic understanding on how it's supposed to be played.
Okay.
Like,
how is he
stay
supposed to be
alive.
played? Oh, go ahead.
Stay alive, play around the corners.
Mhm.
Don't be too aggressive, but
Mhm.
keep healing orb on the characters that the other person is not healing. People
Yes.
that need healing, like
Yes.
flankers and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Makes
And
sense.
try to save my ult for enemy big ults like
Sure.
Blade and stuff like that.
What makes Zenyatta unique compared to other supports? Why would you pick a Zenyatta over, say, an Ana or a Baptiste or a Lucio?
I think he can. He definitely outputs more damage than the other support characters, and I think he's very basic in the way he's played. He doesn't have like big cooldowns like Baptiste Lamp and things like that. I feel like he's very fundamental in that sense, and it just feels better to play for me. But yeah.
We should have watched this really fast. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amid discord, we will find tranquility. My spirit burns.
It's only marginally higher than Lucio.
Yeah, but I mean, the Discord helps your team deal more damage as well.
True. But what's the difference between you and Lucio?
Movement and positioning is.
What about your positioning?
As a Lucio, you're probably more with your tank and more aggressive. I feel like. Well, in Zenyatta, you can be aggressive as well, but I feel like staying alive is more important.
What does aggressive mean?
To be not on the front line, but be with your tank, be with like the other DPS characters like Genji Tracer. But as a Zenyatta, I feel like you're more sticking with a soldier, you're sticking with your Baptiste, you're sticking with the other support a bit
What's
more.
the difference between a Genji Tracer and a soldier Baptiste? Because you're right. I want to dig to the root issue here.
It's positioning, right?
Right.
Or like,
in what way? In what way is their positioning different? And a soldier still takes an off angle, right? But what does a soldier off angle look like versus a tracer off angle?
Ooh.
Or a Genji off angle versus a, I don't know, Hanzo off angle.
That they have need to have a way to get back to the team and play with the team easier.
Sure.
Like Genji Tracer have more escape options, so they can be a bit more aggressive in the way that they take.
But again, what does aggressive mean? You kind of see what I'm saying? What I would describe it to you, and this is a really important skill for Zenyatta, is you are generally a medium to long range character.
Medium
And you know this, you're just not saying it. You're dancing around it, right? It's the same thing with the Soldier Baptiste. Like, what's the difference between Soldier Baptiste and Genji Tracer? The range. The range, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So when we talk about the reason why I don't like the term aggressive is because as Zenyatta, you will flank.
Yeah.
You just don't want to necessarily get up and close to a lot of people. Depends on the characters, but generally you want to play more your range. Like you look at the enemy composition, I have no real reason to get close to a Genji Reinhardt, almost ever, right? Yeah. Now, a damage twisted Ash might be tricky, but I have no real reason to get there. And if we skip forward just to a random point here, I have no reason to get close to a Cassidy necessarily, or to an Orisa necessarily, right? I'm just looking at enemy characters. I don't have any real reason to get close to a Diva. I don't have really any need to necessarily get close to a Bastion, although that's not necessarily a bad thing. So what that does is that educates your positioning. It's not that you shouldn't play aggressive, because what is aggressive? Is it off-angling? Is it not off-angling? You should. Absolutely off-angle, right?
Yeah.
But just try to keep at least a soft range between you and the enemy team. Now, I got one more question for you. You chose a replay code from 2 weeks ago. Why?
Because it was the clearest. It was one I have saved where I felt like my eyes just glazed over second half of this game, and I just saw nothing.
Now, was that a personal situation, like you're tired, or was it I don't know how to approach this, and so therefore my brain turns off?
I don't know how to approach this.
Okay.
I think I did okay, somewhat.
Now, what about it felt badly?
I didn't. I think we didn't. We got stuck so hard, and I just didn't know what I was doing, and it felt like my team didn't know what they were doing. It just felt bad. I don't know how else to say it.
Understandable. Here's what your job is as Zenyatta. Your job is to keep a squishy who is engaged orbed. Okay?
Yeah.
Actually, I'll make it even simpler. Your job is to keep anybody who's fighting orbed, preferably squishies, because the 30 healing per second matters more than it does on a tank, but preferably keep a squishy orbed. Okay? Number 2. Yeah. Your job is to find an off angle that plays to the range that you want to play and put out pressure. And then that's it. Yeah. You don't need to worry about Discord. I would say Discord is like one of the small things that you can worry about, but overall, generally you're just going to Discord what you're shooting, and that's good enough 99.9% of the time. So the question is what do you think of what you're doing right now?
I'm trying to play safe, off-angling a bit to get a different perspective.
This is an off-angle, right? Why is it an off-angle?
Because the tank is on high ground,
yes.
Our DPS is on point, and I'm in the room at lights. It's three kind of slight off angles, I would say.
Yep, I agree. What happened if your tank dropped? Where would you rotate to?
I would rotate high ground in the room I'm standing right now.
I agree. I would go to somewhere here. Maybe even if you feel too exposed there, even go from this position here to this position here. Just because you have a slightly deeper angle, right? Like you said, the slight off angles matter. Okay? Great.
Yep.
Now, what's the problem with our screen right now?
We're 4 people.
4 people, right? What's the problem with your screen right now?
I'm not looking at the enemy.
You're not. Why are you not looking at the enemy?
I'm kind of going back and thinking, playing safe because letting them go in a bit so we can regroup faster.
Are you at a risk of dying from this position here?
No. I'm
so
not. What
should you be doing?
I should be outputting more damage.
You got it. 100%. It's like one of those little details that is very common. I even do this all the time because I love Zenyatta. He's my most played character. But you got to be min-maxing your damage. Now, when would you not want to peak here? When would what you're doing right now be appropriate?
When I should not peak is, I think, when they are taking high ground, like their hit scan, and I'm taking damage.
I would still peak.
Okay.
But if you're taking damage, of course, right? If you're low, right? Yeah. What hero do you need to be cautious about peaking, obviously?
The Ashe.
Right? But what about if they were on Widowmaker? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a situation when you might need to rotate to a different off angle to avoid. It doesn't mean that you can't fight a Widowmaker, you just have to be very cautious about it. But right now, you're not putting out damage. If you don't put out damage, they're going to kill your soldier. Or they're going to kill your Sigma. And you're charging up a right click here. This is a mistake. When do you use right click?
I use it when I like peek corners or shooting down chokes or
Correct.
straight alleys.
Here's when you use your right click, when you cannot peek. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Can you peek right now?
Yeah, I can peek.
Of course. So you shouldn't be using your right click. You use the right click a lot. It's good. But it almost halves your DPS. And so therefore, be careful. Make sense?
Yeah.
And you see you're doing it again there, right? You peek from the corner, which I appreciate you using the corner. But the corner is so that if you do get shot, then you can hide and charge your right click. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're not shot, stay here and keep shooting over and over and over and over again. You see the problem here?
Yeah.
You're losing so much pressure. Now, are you the reason your team lost this fight? No, I don't think so. I think, your Widow died instantly. We can't win when your Widow dies instantly. But we're always looking for little things that we can improve on. You can't peek, so you need to rotate away. I would keep rotating to where?
Yeah.
Where would you go?
I would go high ground or go to my team here.
Are you on a appropriately ranged off angle?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not doing anything right now.
So you will die.
Dying.
I think one of the things that makes Zenyatta unique is, by the way, check out your right click here. You see, you should have already let it go. You see that? You're fully charging your right click, and you lose an extra orb when you could have shot that even faster. You might even be able to kill him before he kills your Widow. But anyway, you said Zenyatta is relatively simple. I would agree. I think Zenyatta is actually very challenging, but he's not hard to understand. It's just hard to do the things.
I think he has a skill ceiling is very high, but it's very easy to pick up the character because he has no big cooldowns.
Right. It's very easy to understand what your job is. It's just not very easy to know how to do it. For example, the micro of hitting your shots is difficult. And also even the positioning is very difficult. Like right now, this is a bad off angle for you. I appreciate you being on high ground here, but what's the problem with this angle?
I can't really see the enemy team.
Right. We have downtime. You're not really on an off angle at all because you're stacked with your Widow, which is fine. You're going to be stacked with somebody, but you spend all this time to rotate and you just ended up the same angle with your damage boosted Widowmaker. What's the point? You don't have a good sight line. You at least have a decent range, but you're not even able to get any pressure out. Where should you be?
I actually don't know. Down here again, staying here behind Sigma or
here?
Maybe.
Are you on an appropriately ranged off angle?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I think you are. Look at where your Sigma is, and look at where you are.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't just say, oh, it's not good. No, seriously, think about it. Are you at appropriate range? Yes. Are you on an off angle? Yes. Remember, what's the one other thing? Your harmony orb, right? Can you get good, consistent harmony orb value out of this here?
Yeah.
What if your Sigma backs up?
I can back out too.
Okay. But you see, this one's a little bit tricky. Just a little bit tricky. I want you to think of another position here. Where can you get damage value with appropriate range?
I mean, behind like Sigma.
Sure.
I'm, like lining up with Bastion too.
Where? But at least you're split from your Widow, right? This isn't a great place for you, right? So we're going to really take our time with this fight because it's going to help us in future fights. Where should you go then? If you're going to go behind your Sigma, where would you go? Appropriate range with cover.
I would go like next to Bastion, either like to the left or there, and or to the right maybe, so I can go further back.
Over here?
Yeah, maybe.
I think this spot here is probably the best position you could have.
Yeah, okay.
Because you have a off angle from your Widowmaker, right? You have appropriate range, you have perfect cover and excellent harmony usage. Now, is it a great off angle? It's not great, right? But part of that is there's not really any other opportunity available, right? This is a great off angle, but maybe it's what if the Genji flanks, you might be too close, or what if the Sigma backs up, you might not have a good harmony orb, right? And also your cover usage is kind of right?
Yeah.
It's the best that you can do. This character's hard. Not hard to understand, just hard to do.
Yeah.
A lot of juggling of harmony orb here and no damage.
Yeah.
And so I promise you, you're going to lose this, or you're going to lose so much space because you can't play Zen and not do damage. Your team will lose. Good? Now, the funny thing about Zenyatta is that you shouldn't want to get close to people, right?
Yeah.
Usually. But you have a couple of tools, all right? There's 3 tools. Number 1, you're silent. So you could surprise people, right? You could surprise people. Obviously, right-click does make noise, so be aware of that. This might be a situation where like they know you're coming because of the elevator, so you charge a right-click, but sometimes you turn corners without even charging right-click because you don't want to make any noise, okay? Number 2, you are... you have burst damage, okay? You have burst damage in Discord. So you could quickly, if you can surprise people, sometimes you can get close to them, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And number 3, and maybe this is the most important one, you do have that melee.
The kick, yeah.
Which can be useful. So let's put it this way. I don't like getting close to people unless I have a good reason for it. This is a pretty good reason.
Yeah, I was trying to save the widow.
He doesn't know that he also doesn't know you're here. And you do know that he's there. You also had a right-click charged up. So you entered this fight immediately at an advantage. I'm okay with it. It's risky. Of course it's risky. But there's a chance that works out. Now, where should you go from here?
Regroup for team.
If possible. You needed to play hide and go seek or regroup with your team.
Yeah.
Instead, you just hover. You have 2 options: either get to your team or win this 2v1. You can win this 2v1, but you're not sure what to do. So you're just hovering.
Yeah.
And so you lose. So what could you have done? Win this 1v1 for me. How do you win it?
To hide and maybe get them
Where?
where they don't see me.
Where'd you go?
Somewhere in this room. I kind of lost the Genji here.
Sure.
I didn't think he was going to come from where he did. I thought he was going to come like from above, high ground. But so I could shoot him from behind. Was my
You could
plan.
even gone up the stairs, like where you go back up here. You could have even kept backing up here, all the way up to here, and I think you might have had a chance to pop off. Just something to consider. Okay. Your ability as Zenyatta is going to be your ability to position early fight in a good, smart, wise position. Nice job. But then mid fight, have the ability to just win 1v1s. And if you really want to know what I'd recommend to be able to practice 1v1s, remember how I showed you Vaxa code to warm up?
Yeah.
Play unranked deathmatch with Zenyatta. That's another thing you can do as well, as a warm-up.
Okay. Yeah.
Go in there and beat up on Genjis and Tracers and people picking Roadhog in deathmatch, right? It's not a bad idea. Now, again here, I want to point out how much pressure you're putting out here from this off angle, right? Look at this. That's pretty darn good. The guy's 1 HP. You see this? This is pretty darn good. What's the only problem with this position? Now you don't even have to worry about the off angle because your Ash isn't even there. You're the off angle up here. But what's the problem?
I'm kind of alone.
Well, that's not necessarily a problem.
Okay.
Where's your Harmony Orb value?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is
Yeah,
the problem. This is the problem. You being alone is what prevented the Zenyatta from killing you immediately, right? Or the Genji from killing you immediately, rather. So it's not a bad idea. As long as you could see your teammates or see enemies. Are you on an off angle at appropriate range?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
am.
What's the only problem with this position?
I can't really Harmony Orb.
You can't really Harmony Orb. So what you might want to do here is peek out, look for Harmony Orb in your Sigma. But actually, here's the crazy thing. I would rather you be here than you be here and get Harmony Orb value. Why? What's the problem with this?
I'm not off angling. I'm really just grouping there. It's easy to just
And also, at what range are you playing on any of these doorways?
close.
Very
Too
close, very close, very risky, right? This is good. This pulls Ash's attention to you. She's now 1 HP. She's screaming for help. In fact, here, you didn't even need to rotate back. Your Sigma's... Ooh. So you gave up. You gave up. Now, you might be looking for trance value here. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's all right. But as soon as this trance is ending, where do you need to be?
Back at the off angle or inside.
Back on that off angle, right? Or inside, right? So quickly get out. And you're going to stay here. You're screwed. You're screwed. You could have got... I would have rather you literally go up this elevator and start playing patty cake with her. Or end here. Or rotate in here and do something, fancy over here away from the Genji.
I am rotating.
Yeah. way too much time shuffling your Harmony Orb here. Your Harmony Orb is 30 healing per second.
Yeah.
Okay. It's really like, it's very powerful over a long period of time on a squishy, but this is silly. Like, your team is going to die if you don't start putting pressure on these guys right now. Go.
One more second, I do it.
I mean, that is actually unbelievable. Is it appropriate to get close on this flank?
Yeah, definitely.
Why? Because who are you flanking?
It supports.
It's a mirror, right? You're flanking these guys, right? And the other thing too is, remember we said we can get close if you have the element of surprise. And there you go. And you just won your team the fight. Congratulations. You would have won the team the fight 7 years ago if you just simply took in the flank instead of sitting there and shuffling Harmony Orb. But yeah, really nice jump. Nice jump. Well timed. You took an angle. You came in with the element of surprise. And then obviously you also got close to characters that are good to get close to. Where should you be right now? This is a tricky one.
Either I think I could have gone like the high ground and stay on the very right side at the elevator. Maybe a bit there.
Where else?
Or further left.
Yeah. Like here?
Yeah, or even up in the box there a bit.
Probably a little close here, just considering how far away you are from your team. But like, in terms of like, you might get shot first before they even take the high ground. But like here, like you want to play around. This would be good. So like, I actually don't mind you being on the floor here because you're like, well, if I go up top, I don't really have an off angle. That's fine. Then take the freaking off angle, right? Look at what you can do from here. Look at what you can do from here. Beautiful. Oh my gosh! The comedic timing.
Yeah.
Oh my days! I mean, at this point, you might as well have rotated top. At this point, you should have just rotated top. But I think more importantly here, you needed an off angle. You needed to do damage. You're not doing either here.
Yeah, as I said, this is not a good game for me.
But this is good though, because this is pointing out this is clearly a consistent problem with you. Clearly a consistent problem with you, right? And this fight's over. Like again, like it's another one of those fights where like you haven't been able to do anything. Oh, and by the way, what should you be doing right now?
Off angling damage.
And damage, right? You're sitting and you're charging right click and charging right click. Man, this fight you got to be out here killing these people. Like this has to happen. Like this fight is not really winnable, but there's a chance, right?
Yeah.
Like you could do it. But yeah, this fight's over. How are you still alive?
I survived the fight and I killed like one, I think.
A little bit close, but I appreciate the fact that you're on an off angle. You're probably gonna die here, so you might as well kill somebody. Oh, you have trance. Okay, never mind. There you go. Do you see how this? Okay, this is the funny thing. So here's what's happening. You are swinging from extreme to extreme. The AFK heal bot charging right clicks behind a wall, right? And then when you do off angle, when you do start to like actually do damage, how do you do it?
I just go in.
You go in, right? There's no consideration to range whatsoever. You're not even very consistent with playing your cover, right? You just go in, right? We need to find a happy medium, you know? Because I like the fact that you're being proactive here. I would unironically rather this than what we saw last fight, right? But you could be a lot smarter with how you're peaking your range. So like, let's say you got stuck here. So let's go back. You're stuck. Okay, unlucky. How do you position here? What do you do? Where do you go?
Good off angle a bit.
Where?
Here, I think.
Sure. My question is, did you have time 5-6 seconds ago to rotate this way? Right? Or here, right? Okay, fine. You're stuck here. Now what? Where should you be? Do you need to be pressing W?
No, I don't need to be.
Sit right here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gain nothing from being here. It doesn't necessarily even make it easier to hit your shots. Not by much. You could still get your Harmony Orbs. You could still do damage. And you still manage your range. And you have a crazy off angle. Instead, you press W and then you isolate yourself. Oh no, I'm stuck. Okay, fine. You're stuck. Now what do you do?
Kill my way out. It's my...
Yeah, but where? Where should you peek here?
Left.
Left. Why?
Because they don't expect it.
Because they don't expect it. It's because it's squishies. Because it's a little bit further away than this guy. This is a bodybuilder. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like the Tin Man, rusted down a little bit, you know? Like this is a grandma. She's retired. She's kind of got some PTSD thing going on here. We can abuse this, right? I don't want this. I don't want to be walking forward into this, especially now that her Discord's on cooldown, right? That's another thing you got to consider as well, right? You've just Discorded her. Her Discord's on cooldown. You're screwed. Do you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Good Discord. Evil Dead. Evil Dead, I say. Okay, there you go. And then this is, whatever, just clean up. Fine. Yeah, careful. Okay, so now you have time to take a deep breath. Where do you go?
Right.
Right? Here?
Hold the door here. Yeah.
Why?
I'm trying to shoot spawn. It's not a good off angle, I think.
Is it appropriately
It might-
ranged?
It's very close, I think, but it's okay.
Okay,
I
at
can
least
still
you're on an
rotate
angle.
back.
At least you're on an angle.
Yeah.
But I want you to really push yourself. Is there a better position? Obviously, I'm implying the fact that there is, right? By asking that question.
I mean, I can go back to left.
You could go back to left here. I think going back to left here makes the most sense, frankly. You have the same heal support. Your Winston's clearly taking the fight here. You're playing your range better. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just were like, why are you here? Why are you here? And now we're like, go here. Why? What's changed?
Go back. The enemy is not
That's
on
it.
the right now.
That's it.
The enemy is
That's
different
it.
position.
That's it. Positioning is always contextual. You generally try to find a position pre-fight where you think the enemy team's going to go, right? Where you can think you'll have an off angle. But you got to react. You got to react. Okay, they're coming in spawn. Okay, I got to go over here. Because the funny thing is you go, this is not that this is too aggressive. It's too close.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to get forced out. I want you to sit here and smoke a big fat cigar and just, or even here, and just mash down your damage button. This is the damage I want. Now, obviously here you're kind of hovering in between nowhere, which is the worst case scenario, right? There's no damage. There's no off angle. There's nothing. And again here, right? Hovering in nowhere. It would have been better for you to end your trance where?
Either left again or right.
Yeah, commit to the flank. Commit to the flank. You're probably going to die. Make them work for it, right? Or, as you said, get back to the right. I think you were chasing your Winston, but even then, if you're chasing your Winston, when you're back here, you need to, sadly, you just need to commit to the rotation. You just need to keep going. So yeah, okay. Don't go backwards in this Genji. Almost never go backwards on a Nano Blade. What should you do instead?
Kill him.
Kill them. Who?
Yeah. Can you?
I disagree.
I disagree. Enemy team.
Enemy team, right? It's Nanoblade.
Okay.
It's Nanoblade, The guy has a 500 effective HP and also healing is doubly effective. Like damage reduction is really strong. It's more than just extra HP, right? Because healing is really strong on him. So yeah, just go kill the on his end. Go force trance. Like right now, I promise you, if you wanted to here, you could force trance. I promise you. You sit right here. They're all walking forward. You're forcing trance. I understand. You could get it back here. I promise you you're forcing trance. Or you're killing him. So good shots in the Genji, but I think probably the more consistent play most of the time is going to be trading backlines. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, I got to know what happens here.
He gets melted.
And he just whiffed. Okay. Nice shots, though. And obviously nice shots here as well. Let's do it. Oh boy, now they're on Reaper. Even more reason to maintain distance. What do you think about your positioning?
Right now?
Yeah.
I think it's fine. We are one person up, and the enemy team is still like in a spawn door or big gate.
Are you on an off angle playing your range appropriately?
Yes.
Yep. Only adjustment obviously here, just in case if they do push you, just need to be willing to back up just a little bit further. But yeah. You see it?
Yeah.
You're just a little close, but you know what? You did stuff. This guy's 1 HP. This guy's Wraith is forced. This guy got Bubble Force. This guy's forcing the Zarya to come after you. This guy's gonna die now. Should die. Yeah, see? I mean, like, you didn't. I didn't even have to know that you're gonna hit the shots to know that they were dead, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because to get to you on that off angle took effort, and they died
But
for
much
that.
resources as well. I think.
It did, and you didn't even play that well. You didn't even hit as many shots as you could have. You didn't even play your range as well as you could have, right? You could have been even harder to reach, right?
Yeah.
Good job. Be a rat. Look at that. Look at that. Ashe has to take an angle on you, and frankly, that should have been a kill that your Cassidy gets. Look what this Ashe has to do to shoot you. Look how close she is. I'm sorry. She should be dead. Right?
Yeah.
She's, your Cassidy sucks. That's how it goes, right? It's me and Cassidy. But you know what? Like, I like that good things happen when you take off angles and you play your range. What do you think about this positioning here? Are you on an off angle playing your range appropriately?
I'm on a slight off angle, yeah, and I'm in good range, I feel like.
I think so too. What do you think about your right click here? Should you be right clicking or left clicking?
I should be. I think I should be left clicking here.
Yeah, I think starting with a right click here is okay, because this is a bit of a sniper comp, right? There is a lot of threat from the Ashe and Zen here, but it's launch the right click and then just keep left clicking. Kind of like what you do there, but don't duck behind cover until you're shot.
Yeah.
You see that? Just a minor thing, but it's a very important habit with Zenyatta. You have to break it. Kind of like what you're doing here, right? You see your Winston dying, what do? You charge a right click and then you peek and spam, 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 spam. Like you could have gotten 2 kills there. That was good. Just die here. Just die. Maybe you can get away. You need to run though. Run, 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 run. Where should you go?
I should go either up or back behind to the right a bit here, yeah.
I like it. Yeah, let's go.
I don't do that. I don't do that.
You see, you're so obsessed with helping. You're so obsessed with helping, you let people die.
Yeah.
You know? Because there's no way that this Roadhog should have stayed here. He should have immediately gotten blown up and at very least backed up and turned his attention to you. That would have helped your Mercy a great deal. Because then you wouldn't have even had to kill. Like, this is a great kill, but that's lucky. You wouldn't have needed to worry about that, right? You could have forced the Roadhog out and then the Mercy would have been totally safe. Your Mercy almost died to Roadhog. Now you're just standing in the open. You're feeling it though. You're popping off and so you're like, I can kill everybody, you know? You're just too close. Oh no. All right, what should you do right now?
Take an angle as my transcendence and
And where is that angle going to be? I think there's 2 options here.
right side.
Right side here, like right here, right? Somewhere here, maybe even backed off here. Or you ready for this one? This might have been what you were thinking. Get in it.
Yeah.
Go.
I
It's
think I go
Zenyatta,
for it.
right? If this was a Moira Lucio composition, I think I play my distance, right? I'd play to my range. But these are my brothers, right? These are my also sniper heroes, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep them busy, right? I'm just gonna play with them. Go. This is neither, right? You're not on a good off angle to your range, nor are you actually flanking backline. You're just kind of hovering. There you go. Get her. There you go. Now I know why you saved this code for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions so far?
No, not really, no. I think we've already talked about most of it. Positioning and specifically range and off angling.
Okay. Do you have like an idea of what you need to work about? I think you talked about it right there, right? But like, what are you seeing so far? If you were coaching yourself, what would you give?
To focus on off angling better, to know when to take positions and when, and not right clicking as much when not need, and don't unnecessarily hide behind corners when I can do more.
Sure. And when you do off angle, what are you looking for what type of off angles look good?
A decent range, as we said.
Situational, but yes. Situation.
Yeah,
right.
and to get damage and be annoying.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. As I said, it's
It happens.
yeah.
It's a little close. It's a little close. You see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
You're leaning this side because you want to go for these flank plays. I get it. That's all right. That's all right. But it's certainly here, you can't be. What happens is the orbs leave your hand, and the W key is mashed. Yeah, you know, you will die.
Yep.
That's it. You got to play your range. At the very least, to the enemy tank. I don't care what tank it is. I don't care if it's Sigma. You got to play your range. Okay. Let's wait till things actually happen here. Thank you. Better sniper. Force her out. Force her out.
Miss a lot of things.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. She's hiding behind cover and she's damage boosted. You've done your job. Too much time shuffling orbs. You see it?
Yep.
The funny thing is when people are critical. Okay, first off, is your Harmony Orb on a reasonable target right now? I know he's discorded or anti-nated, but is it fine to have Orb on Bastion?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a squishy. It's useful. The damage reduction from his turret as well makes the healing even more valuable, right?
Yeah.
So when people are low, this is where Zenyatas get really confused. When people are low, the most important thing that you can be doing if your Harmony Orb is on a reasonable target is to shoot, not to heal. You can't, imagine if Harmony Orb had like a little burst heal. Every time you cycled it, it gave the person like 50 healing. Then you could sit back here and you know what you could do? You could Harmony, and burst heal everybody up, right? That's not how Harmony Orb works. If you don't do damage right now and get these guys out and prevent the follow-up on this anti-nade, your team's going to die. So what happens is you cycle and then a little cycle there and a little cycle there and a little cycle there and we're cycling and now we're charging right clicks. And guess what? The enemy team has just been completely farming your team. You haven't even reloaded since we last launched a right click. You see that?
Yeah.
And so now this fight was over. Like, was this fight winnable after an anti-nade like that? Probably not. But could have been. And you certainly could have gotten some trades here. So ironically, the lower your team is, and generally it's the more important it is for you to shoot. And the less important it is for you to cycle your Harmony Orb around.
Yeah.
Sure, good use of cover. Good. Where should you be?
Taking an off angle on the... it's a bob there. No, I don't know.
Tricky, isn't it? But you got to solve the situation. You got to make a quick decision. Where should you go?
Maybe high ground on the left.
You could go high ground. Honestly, you could even go here and hide from the bob here. You could rotate flank here. You could use your trance and get into this Cassidy over here. You could have ended. You could have run your trance all the way to the dumpster and just wasted their time and trying to bait their attention. I don't care. Anywhere is safer than where you are right now. See, that's the thing is like you could think there's a problem with every single one of those off angles, but anywhere is better than where you are right now. So there's no bad decision. You see what I'm saying? Thank you. Good. Nice job. Let's keep going. See, the funny thing here is, let me ask you a question. Who on the enemy team do you want to keep your distance from?
Hog.
Okay. Who on the enemy team is really fast and mobile and will chase you down?
No one.
So what does that mean for your positioning? Same rules apply, right? But what type of off angles can you take?
Like, I think I can take like medium and long range here.
And honestly, you could go for some super deep flanks if you wanted to. Especially if you're working with your tracer and ball. Mate, I'm not even joking. You could sit in here and hide and do all sorts of funny shenanigans. Like depending on where the enemy team is, you could flank all the way behind them here, you know? And what are they going to do about it? How are they going to chase you, right? As long as you're timing those things well and, you know, playing to your range. But even like you said, versus these guys, like besides Hog, like pretty flexible with your range here. That was something. What's the problem?
I'm just sitting on cart now.
Right. There's no off angle here. You could be up here helping your tracer. You could be flanking here. You could be sitting here. You could be even pushing up to here at the very least to get some sort of pressure in. There you go. Obviously, the problem here is just cover, right? And then as your ball rotates, I want to see you rotate too.
Yeah. Okay.
And there you go. You know, we're just kind of parked. We're not really creating any sort of space. We're not creating any sort of pressure. I understand wanting to stay away from Hog. But like, let's not pretend here that this is the only thing that you could do. I mean, heck, well, here's a strategy: go up with your tracer and kick him in the butt.
Yeah, kick him off.
Knock him off. I don't know, like create some space, you know, because like, the worst thing that could happen is what's happening right now, where you aren't doing anything. You're not creating any space. So your team is playing 4v5 right now. And now we're doing the everybody's crit. So instead of doing damage, we're going to cycle our orbs. And so shockingly, we're going to lose this fight. Oh, and we're going to charge our right click as well. Get ready, get her, kick her off. There you go. Transis. Oh, I don't think you knew he was there. That's okay.
No,
That's okay.
I didn't. I didn't hear him because I thought.
See, you can even think about your trance in this way as well, because like, what is your trance for versus in this comp? We're gonna trance Valk, High Noon, Whole Hog. I mean, maybe a Nano, but even then it's gonna be rough because they're gonna Nano like Roadhog and he's just gonna one shot anybody who gets hooked, right? So like, just transfer yourself. Just go do something crazy, right?
Yeah.
Trance is a really good. It's like Doomfist ult, but better because you can actually move anywhere you want, and it makes a big noise. Yeah, it's good. Get him. It's good. Orb. Good. The crazy thing about this is you're down a bunch, and this is actually kind of bad for them because you're like down. It's a 2v5, and you can actually win this fight, right? Because you have all the space. You have an off angle. You have trance.
Yeah.
Kick him off. This is great. Only thing here is you just needed to be like more disciplined with your peaks, right? Like your cover. Like I think you get caught in the ledge there, but you could have disengaged this. You guys could have held high ground. This is good. Oh, your ball abandoned you. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, your ball swaps and goes diva with mines. Oh my days. Okay.
As I said, I was kind of just my eyes was glazed over the.
Surely the diva's gonna be so much better. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is silly. What should you be trying to do now? Like, be creative. You got a feeding tank. Okay, solve the problem. What do you need to do?
I need to really like do something crazy. I feel like I need to flank high ground behind them. Maybe
you have no sight lines here. You have no off angle.
Yeah.
Go up here. Pull cart. Flank around here. See what happens. They chase you. You rotate this way. You up the high ground. You just again like go. This is not going to work. This is not an off angle. This is not playing to your range, right? And I think, like you said, like the reason why this is happening is because at this point your eyes are kind of glazed over. But it's crucial to me that like this kind of stuff is going to happen, and you know that, right? So your first response when you kind of like are dealt a difficult hand is you just kind of play with your team in harmony or just kind of no. Your default response when stuff like starts to get difficult, be creative, find an off angle.
Yeah.
Don't touch your right click; it makes too much noise. Don't touch your right click; it makes too much noise. Your melee makes noise as well. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where do you need to go?
On an off angle high ground.
On an off angle, maybe high ground with your diva. You could even end your trance over here. You could end your trance over here. You could end your trance in the freaking saloon. Like anything. You're not in an off angle. You're standing in the open. And this is, I mean, this is it, right? I don't even think that this is game, right? Like we know it's game.
Yeah,
so.
it's game.
Okay. So let's take some notes here. What were some things that you did well overall in Zenyatta? What are some things that you're pretty decent at?
I think I'm okay at knowing when to flank a bit. I think I had some good flanks that game. It was not the best game, but it was okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I did okay at some things, but I feel like there was so much more I could have done.
Yep.
I think I did heal a lot. I did deal a lot of damage as well. Could have, of course, done way more damage
Of course.
if I wasn't standing and doing nothing.
Right. Well, your job is just to do better than last time, right? Like your job is just to do
Yeah.
better than last time. That's all. Okay, so let's find out what you need to do better. What are some specific skills you need to practice?
Not right clicking all the time.
Yep.
It's
Keep
definitely
an eye on right click when you are not needing to hide. Left clicking instead. Okay. What else?
positioning.
Okay.
When to take the off angle better.
Look for off angles more with appropriate range. Not just positioning, but a specific aspect of your positioning. What else?
Oh, my mechanics. I think I faltered a bit and didn't do like enough damage at certain points.
I think that's not a mechanical problem. It was the harmony panic.
Harmony panic. Okay.
When people are crit, right?
Yeah.
If your orb is okay, do damage. Don't swap it around. You got me?
Yeah.
Okay. What about trance? Last thing I'd say.
Ult management.
Okay.
I could have used my ult a bit better. I didn't need to save it. The second point there.
So how would you have used it better? What is something specific and actionable you could do with your trance usage right now? This next game, you play a game right this. Go ahead.
To keep myself alive.
Being more selfish with trance. Allowing for more, ready for this word? Aggressive.
Aggressive, yes.
Yeah. And aggressive in terms of the depth of the off angle. You can take much deeper flanks where you're more isolated, easier. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't think. I think I got like very good from.
Okay. Okay.
We
I want you to keep me
talked about
updated with how stuff goes. Obviously, there's like a lot to chew here. So I would